Good morning, everybody. Let's get rolling here.
Hey, Eric.
Happy to see everybody from all over the country. Good morning, Al. Nice to see so many faces here, and I'm sure we'll have more people continuing to join us. So wanted to thank you all for coming and jumping on and sharing your time. I know everybody's busy and there's a lot going on out there in the market. So just a little background for those of you that don't know, this monthly mastermind that we do came from the unofficial RealGeeks conference. Those of you that were there, we all did a breakout session, and at that breakout session, we went into 3 different groups. In the advanced group, we had so many great people with experience and so many similarities and pain points that we decided to create a monthly mastermind. We've met once a month consistently since that time. It's been something that I've looked forward to every single month without fail, learned a lot, became really good friends with the people that are on here. And then we try to emphasize one particular pain point every single month. And we talk about something that is really important to people. We're today going to be opening it up to everybody else. And we're going to, instead of having the round robin format that we normally have, where each person's going to have 5 to 10 minutes to talk about their business, we're going to go in and talk about specifically what's going on from a agent attraction and training standpoint. We think that that's the most important thing, right? Getting people on your team. How do you train them up? How do you give them the tools to be successful? And just really excited to be here. I'm going to go first, and then Christina's going to go. We're then going to have Sasha as well, and then Todd, and then Al will follow up as well. So before we get started, are there any questions at all? Anybody have any questions before we get rocking and rolling? Okay, we'll jump right into it then. So real quick, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Eric Peterson. I'm the owner of Proven Realty. We're brokered by EXP. I live in North Dakota, of all places, up in the sticks here, the frozen tundra, if you will. Not a lot going up here on the real estate side. We're in a town of less than 50,000 people, but because of Cami Hinn, she's on the call as well. She's our COO. We've been doing this together about 6 years. We are a market leader in our market. We did 173 transactions last year and 73 million bucks. So we're really happy about that. We have a team of 32 currently. 14 of those are on the ops side. And we currently have 18 total agents, a couple that are getting their tests finalized as well. So we just really try to be the best that we can. We push the envelope. And when you're up here, you just can't specialize in residential or office or commercial. You literally have to sell every single thing that comes about. So whether it's an RV park, a man camp, a meat processing plant, or lots and lots of houses, we hustle whatever we can. And one of those reasons why is that we go to events like the one that Todd hosts down in Dallas. We've been to the RealGeeks one on 2 different occasions, and I'll let him talk about that a little bit later. But the first time I went, had a phenomenal opportunity to meet some of the best leaders in real estate, brought down one of my teammates, David Van Ash, who had done, because of RealGeeks, 600,000 GCI in his first year in this tiny little market. It was really neat to get down there and see some other people that were utilizing that technology. I ended up meeting Jason Samard at that meeting 3 years ago. He ended up being still is my real estate growth coach, and it's just been phenomenal. And then this last year, it was really neat to interact with people all over the country, various brokerages, and just get everybody's opinions in. So I'll let Todd talk about how important these types of events are moving forward. But to me, the main point of today is how to attract people on your team. And ironically, we've never actually solicited anybody to be on our team. I really believe in the law of attraction, and that if you create a good culture, if you create a place that people want to be, if you do things in a fun way, if you always put your clients and your agents and your community first, and you live that every single day, the go-giver mentality, then people will be attracted to you. So we do a couple of different things, a lot of community events. We do a ton of different things to do outreach and networking, just like you all do. But in our tiny little town of Williston, North Dakota, it's really gone a long way. But when those people show a little bit of interest, we have a kind of an agent attraction thing that Cammie's going to pull up here. Cammie, can you pop that up here? You're on mute, by the way. I just quickly, before we let Christina jump in here, I just wanted her to kind of show you what we've been doing, and it's been really great to get people into a meeting room on a one-on-one where we can sit down and look them in the eye and tell them about all the reasons why they should join the Proven Realty team. Go ahead, Cammie. Do you have presentation ability?
Nope, I'm getting it right now. Hold on just 1 second.
All right. Outside of that, what we did last summer, we had 7 agents that left our team because we made them so much money they ended up going somewhere else. And so we actually hired some virtual assistants out of the Philippines. And so what we have done to attract agents is we help out with all the transaction management, 100% of the marketing. We have 2 inside sales agents that are trained on the phone to follow up and do lead generation and nurturing of the leads. And we've created that value that has helped our agents, and Al could talk a little bit about that for his team, have helped our agents spend more time on the playing field, right? We all know that all of the things that we do as agents that take away from making relationships and doing business and touring properties and negotiating on deals, those are the things that we lose track of and just get bogged down in daily business. And honestly, I'm not great at paperwork, so how can we expect our agents to be great at it as well, right? So from that standpoint, we take a lot of the heavy lifting off of them and then help them move forward. So Cammie, are you able to just scroll through that quickly just to show everybody what we have here?
Yeah, so you guys can all see that? Okay, perfect. Okay, so basically, we have a welcome page, about us page. We have our organizational chart so people can see that we actually do have a large team of marketers, agents, and support staff for the operations side of it. We have our trends. Basically, this is showing our sales trends for the year. We also show them what we've accomplished back from 2020. So we actually started Proven in 2018, but this is from 2020 when we started actually having a team. Prior to that, it was just Eric and I. Just have some of our goals, our values, our visions, missions. Then we go basically really quickly from us into what we can provide for them. So we're just adding value by showing them what the difference is between coming to us or another team. So some of this you'll notice is from EXP, but you could actually do it for any brokerage. Little or no expense. We pay a lot of our expenses for our team. We don't have any kind of a desk fee, but we do pay for signage, marketing, training. And the biggest thing is that I think is really between marketing and then also the transaction coordinator. We don't charge our agents for any of that. And so, yeah, you can kind of see here the first time agent at another brokerage versus ours. We just try to highlight what we can do differently again. More flexibility.
Yeah, and I would say Cammie's going to be able to create a file online. Let's just put it in a Google Drive and share it with everybody so that you guys can see this and dive into it. And we're certainly happy to share this with anybody on this call or otherwise, just to kind of help you guys create something that we've done. Obviously, make it your own. But I think it's really important just to kind of have everything on one page. But honestly, we've had the most success just literally sitting down, talking about culture, asking people what's important to them, finding out what the pain points in their business are, and most significantly, helping them add leverage in their life. That is the thing that separates us from our competitors, is that you can't have success in any business, especially one that's as busy as how it is now, just fighting for every deal, if you're bogged down in the weeds and having to do everything yourself. So I really believe that leverage has been our secret to our success, and happy to explore that further and share that insight with anybody else. So that's pretty much all that we have. I want to leave time for everybody else here. Next, we're going to call on Christina Larson. And Christina, we met down there in Dallas at the unofficial RealGeeks conference. And right when I met her, I could just tell she had passion and she walked with purpose. And I was like, yeah, she's somebody I want to get to know. And she hails from Puerto Rico, Mexico. So Christina, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your team and what you're doing to attract people to your team and how successful you've been so far?
Thanks so much, Eric. Yeah, in sunny Puerto Vallarta, I'm actually here on the Pacific Coast now, visiting family. So it's cool to remember how it is here in the US. So in Puerto Vallarta, we're a destination market. We run our company in a similar way to Eric in providing a lot of services to our agents. So just a little bit about Boardwalk. Our market is about 1.4 billion, and we hold about 6% of the market share, consistently in the top 3. So we are not at all the largest firm, but we really are grounded in core values. So what I want to share today about how, I'm a co-broker here at Boardwalk and a partner, and I actually handle all of the training and onboarding. So what's really important to me as I'm identifying my team growth is what my vision is for the company and who I want to bring in, because there's a lot about, I'm not looking to hire just anyone. And that's number one. I really have set in my mind hiring for the right seats. Gino Wickman's book Traction has been really fundamental as I prepared to kind of grow the team in the correct ways. Identifying.
Wait, did you say Gino Wickman?
Yes, sir.
I did Sweat Hogs with Gino Wickman 35 years ago.
Wow.
We were in the same group together.
Here.
Holy cow. Yeah. His dad's Floyd.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's a whole conversation, conversation to be had. So really brilliant stuff in his book Traction around identifying the right people in the right seats and wrapping my head as a broker around what types of sales agents I want to have in the company, and basing that on core values. So that's number one, as business people, identifying what are those core values that I'm holding for my business, that I want to make sure that every single person who's interviewing with me checks off those boxes, because that's identifying the core of the agents. That's a lot more than just knowing how to sell. It's agents that are going to be showing up with that passion, definitely have the passion, the purpose, but on the same page. So that's really super, super big. The second piece that I want to share today is identifying what your training style is as a broker. And if you're looking for kind of ready to go agents that already have the real estate experience, or if you're more hands-on, want to hire smart people and train them how to do real estate your way. So these are two very different kind of schools of thought when we look at how to grow a team. And in my company, I have both the patience and the bandwidth and the desire to train smart people. So I hire people with sales experience that don't have real estate experience. And I've had great results in training them to do real estate the way we do real estate, which is a little bit different. We're very sales service oriented rather than money in the pocket sales oriented. And it's different. We're not a big box brand. We're a boutique firm. We, grew out of a boutique firm about 10 years ago. So we're very much, nimble footed, I call us. So we're able to kind of move with the winds of the market while holding those core values. So really identifying for you what your business and training style is so that you're attracting the right people. Eric, totally, agree with you in that power of attraction, right? Being so foundational in the great business we do, the great service we do, the great reputation in the market. And those people come to me, but I'm not hiring just anyone. And that's really important and that's been something, it's kind of been the growing pains of the last year, having to let go a couple people that were not the right fit. And, having that company power to say, you know what, I appreciate you so much as a person. This is just not the right fit. Best of luck, and letting those people go so that everyone is rowing in the same direction. And that's language right from Traction. So that's what I have to share today. Really getting down to your own core values so that you're hiring in alignment with your company core values, hiring, based on your capacity and bandwidth to train and onboard in the right way, and then, bringing them on and rowing in the same direction for that great success. Thank you so much. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thanks, Christina. And obviously that's the hardest thing, to let go of somebody that you've put so much time and effort and money and training, and you just want them to do well. But if you find somebody on your team that you want to have them succeed more than they do, then, or they're not a good culture fit, that's really tough. I saw Todd shaking his head profusely, like he definitely knows what that's like to get rid of somebody that's not a good fit. And you've got to do that with your clients too. I just fired one last week. It was hard. We had an opportunity to make a lot of money, but we did not see eye to eye. And it's just, you have to cut your losses at some point. So
Absolutely.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right. How about you, Sasha? I know you and I have had a lot of really good combos, and just talk about marketing and everything else that you're doing. And you do things at a different level than we ever will, of course. But tell us a little bit about your business and how you're going about finding people that are a good fit for your culture and your brand, and what you're looking to do to grow your business.
Hey guys, how you doing? Sasha Chapman here. I am located down here in Dallas-Fort Worth. For the most part, my team operates out of Dallas, but we also have an agent out in Austin, a couple in Houston, San Antonio, and Atlanta, Georgia. So I would say that was the biggest challenge, is me trying to spread across different markets. That has been one of the biggest challenges that we've had here. We are a completely virtual team. I just disagree with getting office space. I would never personally be in it, right? Just by the way I'm moving and shaking. So when we talk about a team, I am with the EXP Realty. I am actually talking about Chapman Realty Group, which is my team, not my downline or anything like that. So the way, and we sold about 42 million last year. We're about half the way there now. Again, I thought we'd be a little bit further ahead, but like everyone else, January through March, we were a little slow. We've been picking up a lot more in the last couple of months here. But anyway, I had a question. No, but to talk about how we are attracting individuals, I like to teach. That's the biggest thing that attracts folks to come to me, is that I like to teach. I do processes. I really enjoy that side of real estate. So just doing that naturally brings people to me. Now,
yeah, the house needs some work, so I'm trying to.
Okay. I end up attracting a lot of new agents. But as far as people coming to EXP, I get team leaders that come over this way. Now, I'm going through some of the same challenges that you guys are going through. I tried to do the whole part-time thing, guys, this particular year. I don't know why I went back to part-time agents. I have learned my lesson for the second time, and I'm not going to try to do that again. But what I am looking for in my agents, obviously I'm looking for full-time agents, and I'm looking for people who will really have the aptitude for learning, and that they have a really big why. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but when someone has a shallow why and is only about money, then that just doesn't work well within our culture. So I don't want to just hire anybody. Like Christina was saying, we want to get people who have the right fit. And so I had to really learn that about myself, guys, and my things that tick me off, right? I don't do well with excuses in the agents that don't want to turn in their numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I manage my team with numbers, meaning that every single day, I look at it every Friday. They have to log in how many contacts they're making. They have to log in how many buyer consultations, listing consultations, because we manage to the numbers. If you are getting 5 appointments per week, but then you come up with a goose egg, then I know I need to help train you a little bit better from that perspective. So those are the things that we're doing. From an agent onboarding perspective, we actually have a really detailed onboarding process. I think I shared this before, in which what I've really learned is this. There's been a number of people that have joined my team that no one's ever heard their name, is because they didn't get past the first 30 days. If they do not go through the onboarding process, which is basically, they're going to meet with my preferred vendors, A. B, they're going to go through the coursework that we actually have. They're going to, and within that coursework means them learning our systems, learning how we use RealGeeks, learning how we use BombBomb, the things that I expect of them as a good team member, making our Monday morning meetings. If they're not meeting those things, I just let them go, right? In 30 days. I got that from Al because I was complaining to Al one day that I was literally dragging people along because I didn't want to let them go because I liked them personally, right? But they wasn't doing for me what they needed to do professionally. And it just was not a good fit. And so I've learned to let individuals go from that perspective. And now I'm able to put more time into the ones who are truly hungry for the business and want to work with us. So that has been a godsend. And then, of course, we have a lot of systems and processes. So when an agent joins our team, you know, they automatically, their drip campaigns are set up, you know, their listing presentation, buyer presentation, FISBOs expires. As we figure out what their niche is, we push them down that path. So instead of trying to teach an agent, quote unquote, everything and blow their mind, we find what they're good at and we push them down that path. The second piece that I think really picked us up this year was we made a change in our model in which we were doing very well with virtual assistants. So we started a model which if the agent pays for the cost of the virtual assistant, I will then manage said virtual assistant, and then we give them a more generous split from that perspective. Because we know if we manage these VAs, they're going to have X amount of appointments on their calendar. And really, they're setting you up, you knock them down. That really increased our numbers this year. And for it also, I like the fact that it makes the agent have skin in the game. And I'm not the only one who's paying for all of the marketing and everything else. We still pay for all the marketing. We still use the mailbox power and all these other tools for them. But now that they have skin in the game, they know I have to make this happen. And I've seen a shift in some of my top agents and their attitudes from that perspective. The other piece is slowly growing their skills. I think we all probably suffer from this as team leaders, that sometimes you just expect them to know how to do X. And well, no one taught me how to do this. I know how to do it, right? Yeah, I did this myself. That's just not the case with some of the agents that we're receiving. And I'm like, I'll take certain things for granted. So simple things that I thought that they did not know is inviting them when I'm training my virtual assistants. You know, we do a ton of script practice now. And I see that my agents have gotten very, very good on the phones and converting online leads, right? I also require them to submit so many circle of influence leads per month. So we're growing that. As we all know, the market has shifted, and those are the easier deals to have versus the online leads that those numbers start going down a little bit. Well, we just start creating campaigns for them to tap into their agent sphere. And we started doing things like, for example, I can't think of the name of the application right now, but circle prospecting around their neighborhood, in which here are 300 particular leads in your area. You should go get to know these individuals because they're potentially going to be selling their house right now, right? And so that has been a really good game changer for us as well. And then when it comes down to my coaching program, I made these guys affiliates, right? It just kind of made sense because at the end of the day, if they're not getting sales, if they're helping me grow the coaching program, they're also making money, right? Now, I don't want to pull their attention away from everything, but I just want to give them different avenues and then just keep growing them from that perspective. So we've been doing pretty good from that way, but I'm actually more strict in terms of who we're bringing in. At one point in time, I would say last year, I was bringing in a warm body and I was literally driving myself crazy. And now we're a little bit more strict around that because I know the things as a team leader that make me tick, that if you're doing these particular things, I'm just not going to tolerate that. And so that's part of my growth as a team leader. But within these guys, if you push them and give them the right tools, and that's what's really attractive for people who come to me, is they know if they come in, there's a system for them to plug into that's going to get them leads. There's a system for them to plug in that's going to help them process those leads. And if they just do the very easy, simple things that we put in front of them, they'll be successful. So with that being said, ones who are, I tend to struggle when I get an agent who's been doing this for 3 to 5 years. And when they come in with the mindset of they're going to do their thing and then sprinkle Chapman Realty Group on the top, that just doesn't work. That just doesn't work. And I have to reiterate that conversation a couple times. You came to me because we're successful. You came to me because you want to learn how to do this. I'm not saying your ways are wrong, but there's a reason why you came to me. Okay. And if you were stuck at 3 million, now you want to take it to 8 million, you need to be coachable. And I've had that conversation a couple times where like, I like you, but you're not coachable. I will not continue to pour into you when I have someone over here who's begging me to help them and they want to learn everything. And then I'm just beating my head against that wall. I let go of 2 agents this year that, man, it hurt. I love them to death as people. And I think they're really good agents, but I just could not get them over the hump because I could not get them to think a little bit differently. And I realized why they're stuck where they are. So that's the big thing for me, guys, is finding people who are coachable, who actually want to listen, no matter what age group, whether they're older, they're younger. And if they don't have that, then that is a problem.
I couldn't agree more, Sasha. I went to the Follow Up Boss Mastermind in Scottsdale, and the biggest takeaway that I had, we're all looking for agents that are hungry, right? Somebody that has that starving, I need to hustle, I need to go there. What happens when they finally eat, right? All of a sudden that motivation level goes down. We really should be looking for agents that are disciplined, coachable, and continue to create a good system moving forward. So
and
thanks for your insight on that. Oh, go ahead.
I just think that we as team leaders have to realize, for me, one of the issues that I had, guys, is that I was kind of open the door for everything I have. Like, here it is, come. And that can be overwhelming, A. And then B, it also makes—
Yes, I need to schedule a practice round for my son who's playing in the state junior.
It makes it a little bit difficult for me to present value down the road if I just empty out the clip there, right? And they say, oh, well, I've seen it. And they may not see the value at that time.
What times do you have? I didn't know how filled up it.
All right, we're back on mute. So that sounds good. That's a good transition to Todd Tremonti here. Thanks, Sasha, for all your insight, and really agree with everything you had to say. For those of you that don't know Todd, which I think you'd have to be hiding under a rock, huge fan. Been reading your books and watching you for years, and just really like the way that you conduct life in addition to business. Just really had taught us a lot of things, and really up here, before I even knew who you were, you made a lot of money just by getting one of my guys, David Van Ash, going. So Todd, tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are on the subject. How do you find people to join your team? And then what are you specifically looking for in an individual?
Yeah, I'll start by just saying there's been a lot of good stuff shared already that I won't repeat, but some of what's been said, we are all in on, and some things we do wildly differently. And the good news is there's a lot of different ways to do this stuff. I'm a big believer that if anybody tells you they have mastered recruiting, they have nothing left to offer you, because they're lying. This is a human game, and the rules change all the time. There are a few things that we have figured out that seem to be generally wise, reliable, useful tools. And so a couple of those really quickly are, we look for people with little to no experience. That's just proven to be successful for us. Normally our limit is right around 15 months of experience in the business is when people start to really solidify their way of doing things, right or wrong, that just really solidify as a habit. I don't mind if someone's 12 months in, but I want to hear them say, I know I could be doing better. I know I could be offering more value. I know I don't have it all figured out. I actually feel bad sometimes because I want to be able to lead better. Those are good things to hear from that 12 to 15 months of experience. Otherwise, we're looking for someone that does not have a license yet, or does not have an active license yet. One of the best identifiers of long-term success for us has been somebody who has been consistently a team sports athlete. I don't value team sports athletes over other people, but they've proven that they know what it means to be coachable, to care about others on the team. They're not all about solo performance. They are willing to carry a team for a while, but they're also humble enough to understand that others might need to lead and carry them at times. They understand mutual benefit, being a contributor as well as sometimes being a consumer. So that's been a good one for us. They don't have to have been all Americans. They don't have to have been national champs, but they have to have been willing to work together with other people in a competitive, but also an environment where they celebrate others' wins. So that's been a really, really good one for us. If there's anything I can share really quickly that I think might be valuable is just our onboarding schedule. So if it's cool, I'll share my screen.
Please do.
Yeah. So this is a very simply formatted document of our onboarding plan. And we redo this every time we add a new team member to the actual dates of their agent in training role. So we hire people into an agent in training role. They're not yet a buyer specialist. They're not yet a marketing specialist, although we do have role specialization. We don't determine that until after they've gone through this 6-week period. It used to be 12 weeks. We didn't take anything out, but we did condense it to 6 weeks. So we schedule it around what their actual day-by-day first 6 weeks is going to be. I'll just give you a slow scroll general look here, but there's a book that they have to go through every week. There's daily activities that they know they should be doing. They go through our entire coaching program, which was built for our team. And only later did it become kind of our whole coaching program is kind of a look over the shoulder of what we do for our team. And then we let others go through. Eric mentioned David. There's other people on here that are in our coaching or mastermind and others that have been through. Obviously, we're not here to promote that. Most of y'all know we do that. But this is what we do for our team. And they go through all those modules. They get to be on our role play call and strategy call. They go through any of our, incubator courses or anything we do. But this is the baseline that they do within the first 6 weeks. And then at the end of that, we determine, are they in? Are they out? Are they a buyer specialist? Are they a marketing specialist, or what most people call a listing agent? Or potentially is a staff role better for them? What we find is most people that have not been in the business, they have like a buyer agent leaning mental visual picture only. Or they have worse, like a TV show real estate agent image only. And that's probably not a good fit for us. I totally agree with what was said before. We hire and we fire based on values. Our values are on the website. They're on our application page. They're on the walls of our office, and they're on our tongue all the time. I also believe that everything we do all day, every day to market our listings, to market our companies, that is our recruiting marketing. There really isn't any different. Now, once in a while, and currently we're doing it, we are running some radio ads right now purely for recruiting, but the ads are 60 seconds long, and more than half of them are for our normal branding, marketing, value-oriented message. And then we include that we are looking for people that believe those things, that are excited about those things, that might want to work with us. We do full-time only. No disrespect at all to Sasha. We just have a very different philosophy. We are an in-the-office team. We want physical interaction, physical interdependency, and we've seen real opportunity come out of that accidental sharing of ideas, accidental connection of transactions. I do not think it's the only way, but for us, those are the kinds of people that we tend to enjoy being around, are the kind of people that want to be in the office, talk smack, make stupid $1 bets, play ping pong, play Galaga, meet together, eat together, have fun together, and then go take on the world together. I didn't give y'all our credentials. I don't know if you care. We try to stay as small as we can. We have 6 agents right now on a team of 11. We'll do about 200 transactions for about 3 million in GCI. If you're doing normal realtor math, those numbers do not add up because our fee structure is a little bit higher than most people. We retain a lot of repeat and referral. That's our number 1 source. Radio is our number 2, and then online home search is number 3. There are others. I believe we've had our very best success recruiting through referrals. We have at times picked up agents through Indeed posts, even through Craigslist back in the day, but our long-term, most loyal, most values connected people are referrals. Ian, our team leader, who helps me with some of our coaching stuff, is a past client. His wife told him when he left the police force, you can do anything except for real estate. Oops. But he's turned out to be an incredible leader in our business, but he's never been a traditional agent. He's licensed. But just to give you an idea of, I don't really care. I don't even look at people's resumes until we're about to hire them and make sure we didn't miss something. We do assessments. We believe that your past most likely predicts your future. We're looking for winners. We're looking for learners. We're looking for competitive, but also kind, service-oriented people that want to see others win. What else did I made a couple notes just to share. We do believe in role specialization. I know that's not the only way, but we've been really successful with that. Our whole model is built on making agents as successful as they can possibly be. My goal is that pretty quickly they realize they're capable of way more than they ever thought they were. So we over deliver on coaching, training, leads, systems, but we also have learned, to Sasha's point, too much is too much. Too many leads is a bad thing. Too much training is a bad thing. A lot of structure is good. Too much structure is bad. We want them to have freedom and balance. We want them to grow as a person, not just as a salesperson. We want their wives and husbands and kids and roommates to be like, dude, I want you to stay on that team forever. That's good for you. That's good for me. That's been great for our whole life. I can't believe they told you to leave the office and travel. Who does that? We have lots of contests. We have a lot of fun with that. We believe that balance is legitimately achievable. Even our staff W-2 employees have unlimited vacation. And if I was to pick a book that I would say we're built around other than the Bible, I would say E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And I'm so hardcore about it that we've had multiple clients go, are you an E-Myth guy? And I'm like, yes, they get it. We're doing it, right? So that's my rapid fire. I'll answer any questions anybody has. And I'm happy to offer any more, Eric or Al, if you think you know something about us that you want us to offer, but I want to make sure there's time for others. So there's my rapid fire.
What's the title?
That's incredible.
What's the title of the book?
E-Myth, E-M-Y-T-H. It's like the entrepreneurial myth. A lot of people think it's like a technology thing. It's by Michael Gerber, and I prefer the one that's the E-Myth Revisited.
Boy, I read it a long time ago. I got to
reread it once a year at least. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen your onboarding thing before, Todd. That's really impressive. I would love to get my hands on a copy of that, So, yeah.
Well, I'll give it to everybody. The trick, of course, is you can see the sheet. What's really crazy is what's behind it, and that's more complex. And we coach on that, but I'm not. Everyone's welcome to the schedule. I'll post it wherever Eric wants us to share all that.
Yeah, you could throw it into the chat right here, and then we'll create a Google Drive as well. So thanks, Todd. Lots of gold there. Very impressed, obviously, with your systems and processes. And I still remember your grandma's tomato sauce recipe, just those added touches, man.
So Eric, we've hung out in person twice now, and both times it feels like we've known each other for 30 years. And both times I'm like, we need to hang out more. But let me just comment real quick on kind of how this group came out of that breakout at last year's event. I didn't get to hang out in the room much because I was hosting the event and bouncing between all the rooms, but that's the room I wanted to hang out in. And every time I would pop back in, it was like a war zone in a good way. Everyone's just lobbing their biggest, most brutal questions at each other, and everyone's trying to actually answer them. So it was awesome. And that stuff's going to happen again this year. We'll have twice as many breakouts this year. And hopefully, I think everybody that was there is coming back, plus a bunch of new people. So, obviously.
Well, I just want to add, that room was incredible. For me, it's like most of us here are used to, when we're in a room talking about real estate, we're the smartest guy in the room or woman.
Right.
When I walked into that room, I realized I was average at best. And that was, for me, that was like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. This is where I'm going to get something. Most of us are used to doing more giving than getting. And that was like I said, for me, it was amazing.
Well, and I know people are tired of hearing me talk about the event, but that's why we really have tried to build an event that I would want to attend, not just to sell tickets. I make almost nothing off this event. It's a beating on our whole staff. We love being there. But if Eric and Al and Sasha and Christina are coming and giving and getting, that's a win. And that's how we learn. I mean, we coach and all that, but I'm taking notes from all y'all right now. So I really appreciate that. And I hope you will all come so that you can all contribute as well as benefit. Go ahead, Al. Sorry.
All right, no
You know,
stress.
let me just do a quick intro, Al. Obviously everybody knows who you are, but I used to see this guy grinding people in this RealGeeks Facebook group. And I was like, who is this guy with the scowl? This guy is not a real person. So I will say, when I got into that room, I was like, oh shit, Al's in here. Like, why do we got to deal with this guy? I picked the wrong room. But very quickly you grew on me, my friend, and you and I have had really good business conversations, personal life. You're a hell of a human being. You have a great heart despite this outward scowl. And you're a fantastic person and you're willing to help everybody. So thanks for throwing this together. Thanks for being you. Al Lewis, everybody.
Thanks. So, all right, I'm going to go real quickly here. So first of all, Paul Ambrosio was supposed to be here today. And the reason Paul's not here is he's doing one of his recruiting things. And what Paul had expressed to us that he's doing, and I want to share it, is he's got 15 of his agents going to an event today. Well, Paul goes with his agents, and he uses that as an opportunity for two things. One is to keep, because he's there and they're all there in math, it keeps Paul, just so you know, Paul manages a Berkshire Hathaway office in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, has about 60 agents, and also has a RealGeeks team of about 12 agents. So he goes to these events to keep his team from being recruited, but also to recruit. He said every time he went to a Tom Ferry event, he recruited 2 new agents. So that's one way. And I know another way that Paul recruits agents is referrals. I know I've referred him 2 agents that are on his team in Chicago. I know one of the agents on my team was referred to me by a broker from Minnesota, and she's killing it. And so we have to look at broker referrals for agents as well. When people are moving to our areas or people that they know, we forget about that. And that's been successful. I don't do a lot of recruiting. We have on the call here, and I've introduced Laura Cristiano. Laura is actually the broker of my office, and we have 120 agents in our office. And Laura just doesn't recruit agents. She recruits teams. She recruits mega teams. We've got 5 of the top selling teams in the entire state of Florida in our office. She just recruited another team that's already done 13 million in sales this year. So, you know, maybe we'll get Laura to share a little bit about what she's doing to recruit here. And say hi, Laura, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to be on this call. It's some great information so far. I'm really enjoying it.
So anyhow, Laura does an amazing job. She's better at recruiting than I am. I'm more of a, you know, I'm more of a get me the person. And what I look for in a person is typically either a new agent, which I was opposed to in the beginning because of all the hand holding. But as I was able to establish my team of Lindsay, who's here, and Gabe, and I had other people who could help me hold hands, you know, then I embraced it more. But the person I was typically looking for is like what Todd said. I was looking for somebody who was in the business for about a year, had done 5 transactions, just needed the coaching, the training, the mentoring, the leads, that had the desire. He just didn't have the right support around him or her at that point. Lindsay fit into that group, who's my team leader now, fell right into that category. A couple of other agents on my team fell into that category. But now we kind of seem to be focusing more on new agents. And so I want to share something with you that I'm doing exactly with all of us get a brand new agent. And obviously Todd has the onboarding process, but what we try and do is we try and get them ready to sell houses immediately. So our day one of a new agent goes like this. We have them schedule 5 showing appointments immediately. And what this does is that gets them to learn how to use the MLS. It gets them to learn how to route showings. It gets them to learn how to set up appointments. It gets them to learn how to use the lockbox and Supras and access the homes. It gets them to learn some inventory. And we have them do that on day one. So on day two, if someone on our team has a buyer and they just need a door opener, we pay them as a showing agent. And they practice and learn, and they actually get paid to do showings. They're ready on day two to be showing buyers. So that's the first thing we do with the brand new agent, just to get them going. Because, you know, what happens if we put them on leads and they get a buyer? Then they're like, now what do we do? So again, it just that's the way I was trained. So that's the first thing we do with a brand new agent. Of course, obviously, it's a little different if it's an experienced agent, but you know, we use RealGeeks to at a high level to create our business. You know, so what we do is we have our training built around learning RealGeeks, learning how to call people, learning how to work leads. So our RealGeeks training looks something like this. You know, we have them. First thing we do is I have them sign up as a user, and I want them to see from the user standpoint what the users or what the customer is seeing that signed up. I figure this is important for them to see what they're seeing so they know what's happening from a user standpoint. So they see the automated email, they see the automated text, they see the automated chat. And I don't tell the agents on my team that this person is signing up and that this is we're training them. So I expect the agent on my team that is assigned that lead to call in the 5-minute period that they're supposed to call in, and they always do. And so that's part of the training too. And of course they're like, oh, well, thanks a lot. But you know, they do it shows me who's doing a great job. And we do that all the time. So, you know, after we do that and they see it from the user standpoint, then we review the scripts and some objection handling techniques. We show them how to, you know, to set up and do name searches, review urgencies, you know, all that stuff. And then next thing we do is we assign them 20 recently active unassigned leads. We want to give them people who are not being worked with anybody, who have been recently active on the website. And we review our lead re-engagement system, and we sit down and we have them with usually it's Lindsay or one of the other experienced agents on my team. They call all 20 of those people and they make the mistakes. They, you know, I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? These are leads nobody's working with anyhow. How bad can they screw them up? So they call those 20 people, they get the experience. They learn how to talk to people. They learn how to use a phone. Most agents don't know how to use a phone anymore. It's funny when Christina said Gino Wickman, his dad, Floyd Wickman, was one of the masters of training people on a telephone, if not the master of training people on a telephone. I was lucky enough to actually have him as a trainer at one point. So we train them how to use the telephone. We review the process of working a lead versus calling a lead. So before they call a lead, we show them, check the source, check the keywords, check the searches performed, check the properties that they viewed, Google the person, Facebook search the person, check them on LinkedIn, before you call them. Have a good knowledge of who you're calling and why, what they're looking for. So, so they do that before they get any new leads. Then after they've done that, if we think they're ready to go to the next level, we review the new lead system with them and what our systems for all 4 types of new leads, which I think a lot of you have seen my systems on that before. There's only really 4 different classifications a new lead falls into. There's no phone number. There's a no phone number or a bad number, and we looked it up and we found the number, or we haven't found the number. A lead that we've called and we've gotten a hold of them, a lead that we've called and we haven't gotten a hold of them. So we have systems for all 4 of these categories with new leads. When they first work the new leads, they have to do it with a supervisor. They do it with Lindsay, or they do it with another experienced agent on our team. And they sit and they work with that person and they get leads. I mean, we're fortunate enough where we have a large, we generate 20, 25 leads. So if they're in the office for a few hours and they're on a shift, they're going to get a few leads. All right. And they also, the person they're sitting with is usually on shift getting a few leads. So they're seeing those. So before they can get leads on their own, they usually go through about 3 shifts or so with one-on-one supervision from someone on our team. We show them all of our processes. Okay. And the team leader decides, or the other agents or myself, when that person is ready to be on leads on their own when unsupervised. But when I say unsupervised, we still watch. The team leader is still expected to watch what their agents are doing and help them with that. So that's our, again, I just took now we don't let people, usually the process before they get leads on their own is 2 weeks. They're being trained how to work leads in RealGeeks for, Lindsay, would you say that's about the right time frame? About 2 weeks now we're working with them before they get anything?
Yeah, usually by 2 weeks, we know if they're ready to be on their own or not.
Right. And again, we give them 20 to start, but when we usually give them another 20 and another 20. So we're giving them leads to keep them going, keep them on the phone, trying to find appointments. And again, these are, if they're new agents and some experienced agents, they're working as a showing agent for us also, not for free. They're getting paid, because we pay them whether that person buys or not. If someone opens 3 or 4 doors for us, we pay them $100. Okay, so that keeps some cash flow coming in while they're getting going, and they're being trained how to show houses, and it works really well. The two of that together. So again, that's kind of in a nutshell our a quick version of our RealGeeks training. But again, it's like I said, it's a long 2-week process, but we don't have time to really go through it in any more detail than that today. So, any questions on that? No? Okay, good. So the other thing, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I have a question. Is anybody free to talk about like compensation, how you like start these people and how do they earn money?
Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about that. I don't know, Todd, if you want to tell your commission split. So when I hire a brand new agent, brand spanking new, the first 3 deals that they do, if it's a team lead, a RealGeeks lead, or one that I've given them, they get 40%. I get 60 less other, I pay Remax and pay my team and all that stuff. First 3 deals, they get 40, or if it's a lead they generated on their own, they get 60, because we're doing all the work. Let's face it, brand new agent, we're helping them write the contract. We're babysitting that whole thing. Okay. After that, my team goes to 50% on team generated business and 70% on their own generated business. And then after that, there's no guarantees. I see where people are at. Some people never leave those commission splits. Some people, go, usually the RealGeek stuff, I'm not increasing it anymore. It's everybody here knows it's expensive to generate these leads. So, so I kind of stick on that. I do, tend to usually, I think everybody on my team right now, because I don't have any new agents, is at 75% on their own generated business right now. So that's, I don't know if that helps you. Todd, do you want to speak to that, or you not want to talk about?
No, I'm happy to. Yeah, ours is very simple. There's some rare scenarios where there's some nuance, but buy side's 50-50, listing side's 25-75. Our listing agents will sell 40 to 50 listings a year. They are thrilled with that commission. We do everything for them. Lots of inbound ideal clients is our battle cry, which, by the way, is a powerful recruiting tool that you're not just chasing randos all day long. We want to attract more than we chase. We want to nurture and cultivate even these inbound home search leads and property valuation leads over time. We want to nurture them to where it's more of a privilege for them to work with us than just we're the person on the internet that beat them over the head the most. We still hustle, we still chase, but we want to balance that with a lot of attracting. So all that to say, 50-50 on the buy side, 25-75 on the list side. They have opportunity to do a lot of volume with staff support, great marketing, And we have almost no frustrations about commissions. I literally wrote I wrote a chapter of a book about this. The lie is the bigger the commission, the better the broker. That's just delusional. So the risk of us sharing fees and things is you don't know everything that's behind it and the exchange of value. So, you know, an agent could be really happy keeping 5% if they can make $1 million a year and have plenty of time at home. So, you know, be careful copying any of this, but ours are 50-50 or 25-75.
25 to the agent for your listing agents.
Yep. And it doesn't change whether it's personal or team, because in our environment, we always provide way more team business than they do on their own. The one place I'm wildly generous is with team member referrals. I charge basically nothing. And whether it's because we do role specialization. So a buyer agent could refer a listing and I don't take a broker split on a full 25% off the top and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'll stop there. I'll answer any questions. I'm just trying to save us some time.
Thank you.
Who else has a question for anybody in the group?
If no one else does, I do, but it's a question we always ask, which, you know, really quick answers. Where have you found your very best agents? I think we all know the answer, but I'm always trying to grow and learn.
Laura, why don't you, Laura, can you take that one? Since I gotta believe that Laura.
Is anybody finding amazing agents outside of personal referral network with any consistency?
So that was going to be my answer, is that the best agents are the ones referred to me from the other agents. And honestly, we're at about 120 agents right now. And my growth throughout the last 10 years of being a RE/MAX office is primarily due to the other agents referring agents. And really, that's where we get, I think, the best. Right now, we are on a recruiting mission, though, and we are just calling everybody and anybody. It's a little bit easier when you're so focused on just being a team leader and having that team. But when you're the broker and the owner of the office, I have to open it up a lot more than to really looking for just a specific person. And I'm finding that, like, not everybody knows you're looking for new people or hiring. So just making those phone calls and getting that information out that you're still looking to grow, you're still looking to hire, I think is also very important. And it's really all about timing. Like Al said, I just brought on a very successful 3-person team. And it was just a matter of picking up the phone and reaching them on the day that they were not having a good day. They were thinking about changes, and I just got lucky. But so it's just that consistency of picking up the phone for me, because recruiting is my job right now, is just picking up the phone and being consistent and making those calls.
I'm not your coach, Laura, but I would challenge you on whether you got lucky. You had put in the work so that when that happened, you got the call or you had the connection or whatever. But yeah.
Hey, Craig Grove has a 60 agent office. Craig, you want to share with us what you do?
Hey guys. Well, actually, I'm mostly absorbing y'all's information, which is extremely helpful. However, we are kind of shifting into a new role, which is interesting hearing Laura talk, because she's where I want to be. My goal is to be at 100 agents. I'm at 60 right now. So I actually incentivized. I had tried incentivizing the whole team to recruit. Okay, so they would all get like a bonus or whatever, maybe even a free transaction if they brought on an agent. That worked a little bit, but then I found there's nobody specifically responsible, Laura, and I think you probably know what I'm talking about. When you give 60 people this opportunity, everybody just kind of sees it like, whatever, okay? And so now I'm bringing on a recruitment manager because I don't have the time to sit and do that. And he's incentivized on their production. First, he's getting he's going to get a bonus for bringing. He's emailing me right now. He's going to get a bonus for bringing on an agent, and then he'll get a percentage of their business for the first year. And so it gives him that driver. And he's I call him my cold call cowboy. When he started with me, I literally gave him a list of just, crap leads, and he just converted a large percentage of them. So now I'm taking that and I'm giving him the opportunity to build his own team. And then on top of that, he will be a mentor to any new agents, because Laura, we also kind of had, we had backed away from bringing on new agents because of the time consumption. And so he's now going to, if he brings them on, if he brings on a new one, which before I wasn't trying to recruit, he has the opportunity to mentor them as well. And he's a great agent to be a role model for them. So then he can also continue that commission split basis for him. And then ultimately that basis ends after about a year or so, and then they go back to their regular split with us. So I'm going to be rolling this out hopefully in the next week or two, and I'm really excited about it. So that's where I'm going with that. And thanks for asking.
Right. So I do want to share a funny recruiting story with you. And Gabe, where'd you go? Or is Gabe gone? There he is. Okay. So Gabe, I don't know if you guys know, Gabe is on my team. Gabe is an ISA manager. It's funny, Todd, you said about encouraging him to travel. Well, Gabe is the person I never wanted to hire. And Lindsay had sold his mom a house, and Gabe was a full-time college student who was working 30 hours a week at Chase Bank, and he had just got his real estate license. And I'm like, what the hell are we going to do with this? Okay, he's going into his senior year of college, and he's full-time at Chase. Well, Lindsay said, no, you're hiring. So, okay. So we hired Gabe, and to make a long story short, Gabe, after 2 weeks, decided he didn't want to do Chase. He quit that, did this full-time, and from September to May, he did about $4 million in sales while he was full-time in school. Okay. And then he came to me and said, I've got the opportunity to go to Europe. My girlfriend lives there. My parents want to pay for a rail pass for me. What do you think I should do? I said, you're 23 years old. Get on the freaking plane. So he says, all right, well, can I still work for you, if I'm there? And I said, we'll figure something out. So we went there. And then I met Eric at RealGeeks and learned about the ISA thing. And I made Gabe my ISA manager. So here's even a better story. Gabe's back in the United States right now. Came in 2 weeks ago, said to me, is it okay if I take some leads? So we put Gabe on leads 2 weeks ago. He already has a $610,000 sale off of one of the new leads that he took. Okay.
Al, Gabe and I
Okay.
actually have an announcement for you. You've encouraged his travel, and he's going to be spending some time, like a lot of time, in Dallas, Texas, as part of our team now. So I appreciate you recruiting and training him for us. It's really kind.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fight me for that one, Todd.
I will.
So
Anyhow,
like I said, we all deviate sometimes from what we expect, and boy, that couldn't have worked out better for my team. It just couldn't have. So you just never know what it's going to work out. So I do want to share one other thing that we started 2 weeks ago today, and it's something brand new, and it is working beyond our wildest expectations. So we decided to call leads, not from an agent perspective, but from a loan officer's perspective. So we brought in our loan officer partner, and basically what happens is the new leads and existing leads, and we've called about 1,000 leads so far. And from those 1,000 leads, we've got about 28 buyers that are being pre-approved. We've got about 25 cash buyers that we've brought to the surface also. And basically, instead of calling from an agent perspective, they're calling from the loan officer's perspective. It's hi, Jim, this is Al Lewis calling on behalf of Pat DeRosa of the Infinity Mortgage. We heard you were looking for a new home in Florida. We were wondering if you're going to need a mortgage to help pay for that home. And, obviously we have scripts to go after that. But if they say, oh no, we're going to be paying cash. Great. We just identify, our ISA then takes it to the buyer's script. Oh, that's great. If everything worked out perfectly, when would you like to be in your new home here? And so we have uncovered, we went, as everybody saw in my statistics, we were getting about a 2% hot lead response when we were calling from the agent perspective. We're at about what are we, Gabe? We're at least 5% hot lead right now calling from the loan officer. But here's the best part. The loan officer is paying for the ISAs now. They're paying for the calls to be made because they're getting, we set them up as a lender in RealGeeks. They make, we also send a text and an email from the lender, but the agent gets all the responses too. I mean, I could go on for a while and tell you about this, but this is working unbelievable and it's being paid for by somebody else.
Yeah, Al, just a quick thought as we kind of brainstorm here. I've seen that work in different market shifts, right? Everybody's so rate conscious right now that I think it's a good strategy. I don't think it's a forever strategy, but I think it's so smart to jump on it while you can and share the marketing benefit or the funding. And I would say it's a pipeline filler right now. We're finding that a lot of our prospecting conversations are leaning, lender talk. It's still our agents doing it. I know Van Ashie's doing a lot of, loan officer prospecting of their real estate leads as well. So I think it's super smart. I would be prepared to shift back at some point for sure, but I think you get it while you can. I like it.
Well, for us, Todd, and I just saw something the other day. The National Association of Realtors said, I don't remember, it was 37, 38, 39% of all homeowners own them free and clear. So they're cash. The percentage of people that are saying, oh no, we're getting more people that are saying, no, we're going to be paying cash. So we're identifying all these cash buyers. Now we're a destination market. If they're saying that in your market, Todd, that probably means they have a house. They're probably cash because they have a house to sell, which makes them a great listing lead at the same time.
You know what I read yesterday is nationwide, more than 60% of homeowners, this is a weird stat, more than 60% of homeowners have more than 50% of home equity.
Yeah. We saw the same thing in a seminar the other day.
Yeah, I think I heard Buffini say it, and then
Buffini, it was Buffini, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, did you see Laura had us watch the Buffini. I watched the thing with Laura, our broker. She and I watched it together.
He put his report out early, and it was really good this time. But basically the point was all these doomsday headline writers that were hoping for a crash aren't getting it. But there's two sides to this picture, two sides to the coin. And one of them is that people have a lot of equity in their house. They may not be moving, but it's not because they can't. It's because they're making choices about their equity and their wealth, which is actually a really, really good thing. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting stat.
So, all right. Well, Eric, where are you at? There he is. I'll let Eric introduce some of the other regular members of the group. I think mostly we have left regular members, but Eric, why don't you introduce the other regular members of the group?
Yeah, you bet. We've got the two Craigs. So raise your hand, Craigs. We got those guys. Dino's on here all the time as well. We've got Don. Obviously, you heard from the rest of them. And then Matt's on here as well. Mark, I can see you. You're on my second page. Sorry about that, Mark. And then is there anybody else that we did not mention that hops on here weekly or monthly?
No, I think most, actually Greg Spackman's not on today, but he's you and Matt Heidchuck. Where you? Oh, there he is. There's Matt.
Yeah, he was on here before. Okay, there's Matt.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Other than that, we'll let you guys go. Thanks everybody for hopping on. We'll send you out information on.
Hey, I'll see everybody in Dallas, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. Al's gonna bring his wife too, so that's cool. But
Yeah,
if you
my
guys
wife,
need
well,
it,
yeah, actually, 4 agents from my team are coming along with my wife, so there'll be 6 of us coming down.
Nice.
all right. Well,
We'll
thanks
see you
everybody
guys.
for hopping on. Appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks,
Miko,
guys.
everybody.